What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the German Bear Podcast. And today we got three big topics just before we are headed into the 2022 Chicago Bears training camp. Roquan Smith is considering holding out, and we got two big signings as well. Just as the veterans are reporting to training camp actually today, the first official practice will be tomorrow, so definitely stay tuned for some information and opinions about that as well. I will definitely keep you updated as much as possible. And with that being said, let's actually get right into it and talk about Roquan Smith's holdout. Roquan Smith is actually holding out of training camp. He is, per reports, actually at Hallis Hall at the moment, but he's not practicing with the team, or is not expected to be practicing with the team because he's not happy with the contract situation at the moment. He has yet to receive an offer that he would remotely consider, is the news by Ian Rappaport. So he's not happy with where the Bears polls and his agents are at with the price, with the value, the salary. So, Roquan Smith, just to keep it short, I don't want to talk about it too much because Roquan Smith, at the end of the day, I think will play for the Chicago Bears in 2022. There is no doubt about it. And he is, in fact, the best player you have on the team at the moment. He is, in my opinion, one of the, if not the, personally, he is for me the best linebacker in the NFL. But without a doubt, he is definitely a top 5 linebacker in the NFL for everybody else as well, or he at least should be. And he definitely deserves to get a big payday and even be the highest paid linebacker in the entire NFL. Roquan Smith played his heart out since his rookie season in 2018, played absolutely lights out as an all-pro player, and we just have to keep in, and I'm super faithful into polls that he's actually getting it done as well. Jaquan Brisker, our rookie second-round pick from Penn State, who was also considering holding out of training camp, just got his deal done. So Ryan Poles is putting in the work, as you will see with the next signings that we're going to talk about as well. So I think he will definitely get it done with Roquan Smith. It's just a matter of time. And I think Roquan Smith, even though he potentially now will miss a good portion of training camp, will still be ready because he's just such a good player that he can compensate that easily and just be healthy and extremely good as the season starts. He was there for the OTAs and all these voluntary kinds of things. He was present, and I definitely think he is willing to play in that Eberflus defense, especially for a player like him. It's just now a run and hunt and just play football defense, and I think that's something he will really enjoy. So I'm faithful into polls that he will get it done, like I said, and Roquan Smith should be a long-time Bear. It's just a matter of time when the deal actually happens this offseason. So with that being said, let's move on to the next topic, which is actually the signing of an offensive lineman, Michael Schofield. Justin Fields is actually getting a new bodyguard at right guard, as it looks like at the moment, in Michael Schofield III. He's actually 31 years old and is a veteran in the NFL. He was drafted back in 2014 with the Denver Broncos in round 3, pick number 95, out of Michigan, and just had a very solid career all around, and it was kind of surprising that he still was on the market. He was definitely not on my radar, but all I can say right off the bat is I'm so happy that we got him. He's an NFL veteran with lots of experience, like I said, since 2014 in the league. Already won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos in 2015, that Peyton Manning's season, his last season, where they went all the way. Von Miller's amazing performance in the Super Bowl. And Michael Schofield, just to take a look at his career, has probably been a starter for most of it. He had some years, 2017 with the Chargers, where he was starter for 5 games or 3 games in 2020 with Carolina, but for the rest of his career, 2015 started 13 games, 16 in 2016, 16 in 2018, 16 in 2019, and 12 last year for the LA Chargers again. So he has been a very capable, I would say, backup / bottom tier starter that just sticked in the league and was very capable. It was surprised by his numbers. His snap counts was his snap counts and his percentage of snaps started was pretty high as well. 87% in 2021, 100% in 2019, 98% in 2018. So the guy is an experienced veteran that looks pretty good. I already watched some game tape of his. I don't kind of late with that news. I did not break them that early as other guys, but I want to give you a bit more in-depth analysis of Schofield, and I think he is a pretty good guard slash tackle. He played both positions in his career, right tackle and right guard, but with the Bears, he's definitely projected to be the starting right guard right now. He's 6'6", 301 pounds. So a big guy for the guard spot, but pretty athletic still. Like I said, 31 years old, but I just finished watching the game tape of the Raiders versus the Chargers last season, that crazy game. I think it was week 17. Where they both fought for that playoff spot, and Michael Schofield at right guard really held his own. I mean, he had very solid pass sets, looked good in those. In the run game, he was pretty good as well. I think in the second level, he's pretty nice. And like I said, 31, but still very athletic. The guy can move. The guy is lean. He's athletic. He fits the mold of the Ryan Poles offensive linemen, the ones that he wants to bring into the team. And he's just a very good veteran presence. He has experience. Like I said, won already a Super Bowl with the Broncos. He knows what it takes to be a successful football player, and he's just a very good player. I mean, I love it. It's a one-year deal, and I think we can expect all great things from Michael Schofield. At the moment, I think he holds down the right guard spot without a doubt, even though I like Zachary Thomas out of San Diego as well that we just drafted. But I mean, Michael Schofield should be the starter at right guard, and is definitely an upgrade over Dakota Dozier as well as Sam Mustipher, who are at the moment projected, or were the projected starters. Obviously, Dakota Dozier's out with a torn ACL, I think. But yeah, Michael Schofield, I love the signing. He's really good. And I can't wait to see how he performs on the team. I think he's a great addition and definitely an upgrade to finally help Justin Fields be more safe in the pocket. But Michael Schofield is not the only offensive lineman that the Bears have added the last couple of days. They also addressed the left tackle spot finally with one of my favorite players that were still left on free agency, and that is offensive tackle Riley Reiff. The Chicago Bears signed Riley Reiff to a one-year deal worth up to $12.5 million, so a big-time contract for him, even though I've heard that most of this contract will be incentives, so the base salary won't be that big. But I mean, still, we got a lot of cap space for 2022, and we haven't utilized all of it yet. So bringing in a left tackle that is so experienced like Riley Reiff is definitely a benefit for the Bears. He's 33 years old, so definitely kind of older. 6'6", 305 pounds, and was drafted back in 2012 by the Detroit Lions in round 1 with the 23rd pick. And Riley Reiff has, throughout his career, been a very solid player. I mean, he started almost every game he was in the NFL. The only games where he appeared and did not actually start were his rookie season in 2012, where he played in 16 games but only started in 8, but for the rest of his career, whenever he appeared in a game, he was actually the starter. 16 games, 16 started, 15 games, 15 started, and so on from 2013 till 2021. He had stops with the Lions, with the Vikings, so very well known in the NFC North, and the last season he spent with the Super Bowl appearing Cincinnati Bengals, where he did kind of solid but got hurt and only started 12 games. But Riley Reiff is definitely one of my favorite pickups. I talked about him already about 3 months ago, where I talked about some free agents that were left after the first few waves of free agency, and he was actually still available at that time, and I liked him a lot, but he never really signed with the team. And now, one day before the first practice, Riley Reiff got signed by the Bears. I think that's an excellent pickup by Ryan Poles, and is definitely an upgrade for the offensive line. And with Michael Schofield and Riley Reiff now being Chicago Bears, I think we got a great foundation for 2022, and Justin Fields should definitely feel more safe. And I mean, that should also help his development. But back to Riley Reiff, very solid player. Left tackle should be his position with the Bears in 2022. He played, like I said, very solid throughout his career with the Vikings, or if it was with the Lions or with the Bengals last season. He's always been a just great starter, never that superstar left tackle Trent Williams or Tyron Smith. but always a very solid player that sticked on a lot of rosters and just provided every team with good tackle play, and that's something we need in Chicago. He's not too old, like 33 is not that old. I mean, last season we had Jason Peters, who was 39 or 40 already. So tackles can play up there with age. And if Riley Reiff actually performs, I mean, why not give him an extension as a swing tackle for the next couple of years, or take him even into 2023 if he performs very, very well? I mean, you never know. Last season in 2021, he played 711 snaps with the Bengals and only had one penalty, which is great. So a very disciplined player, and allowed 4 sacks, which is not great, but also not bad. He had an overall PFF grade of 67.3 and just was graded very solid throughout his career. I mean, in general, the offensive line now looks way better. In my opinion, the projected O-line now will be Riley Reiff at left tackle. I think there's no big competition for him there. Tevin probably will be at right tackle, and Larry Borom won't outmatch Riley Reiff either. So he will be the left tackle. Left guard, you have Bears veteran Cody Whitehair, who has been there for years now, and he should still be pretty solid. Center, Lucas Patrick, who's just a great character, high character guy that I like a lot. He should be pretty good. Right guard now should be Michael Schofield, so another veteran that you have there. And then at right tackle, I think it's now a true battle between Larry Borom and Tevin Jenkins. And then what is also great about these signings, Riley Reiff left tackle, we have our young, highly talented left tackle, Braxton Jones, who we just drafted in the 5th round as well. He has now a great mentor in Riley Reiff, who's still playing at a high level, so he can watch a NFL offensive lineman that can teach him great stuff and is still pretty good. So he can show them these things on the field as well on Sundays. And if Braxton Jones actually develops correctly, he can be like his successor. But Riley Reiff for that is already a great signing. And then right guard Michael Schofield as well. You have Zachary Thomas behind him, Jatiri Carter, also 2 very talented offensive linemen that we just took in this year's draft. Michael Schofield will hold down that position for at least 1 year, and then these guys can take over and also learn from a player that will play on a pretty high level as well. So just in conclusion, Justin Fields now should feel much safer. He now has Riley Reiff and Michael Schofield on the offensive line as well. That brings more depth and actually 2 starters to the offensive line room. 2 very well experienced players that can get out a lot of knowledge and just help these players develop, as well as high quality play by themselves as well, hopefully. So I actually love these additions. I don't care about the pricing because, like I said, it's only 1-year deals for both of them. So not a big risk there. And I'm happy with these signings. I feel way better heading into training camp already. I can't wait for the first couple of days to report to you how they went and give my opinion out for them. So definitely stay tuned for that as well. And yeah, guys, that wraps up today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you liked the video. Check out Instagram if you want to as well. And as always, guys, bear down.